food industry was when I'm in my childhood actually. When I started, in family gatherings, basically wandering around the kitchen, with my grandmother, my aunts that they've been cooking for years. I was always the only little one trying to help, trying to see what they're doing. And that would motivate me to basically start liking in that field. When I started my career, I never expect to finish actually going that route, but I always liked it, the food aspect and related with my profession. Yeah. And you know what? Pursuing the profession I have now, it was basically by default. I started my career as a business administration. I got to the business administration school. I started working for Citibank many years ago, and I started doing my career in the bank business. And when I finished my third year, actually, and ready to start the fourth year in the career, something clicked in my brain and I say, I always liked the basically hospitality industry, and it can be related with the business part anyway. So I switched gears and I finished in hospitality school, management school. Because of my background, the 3 previous years in the business school, all of the basically assignments and things like that, they took over as part of the curriculum in the hospitality. So I'd be able to finish the hospitality school in 1 year instead of finishing 3. Because they recognize some of the things I really did in the business part. And when I finished my degree in hospitality management, you have 3 different ramifications, let's put it that way. You have one is floors and rooms. The other one was the culinary part, and the other one was all of this room service and housekeeping and all of that area. I got inclined obviously to the culinary part because I've always been cooking. Even if I don't have as a career in the family gatherings, especially for Christmas time, we always making something. My dad with me or myself. So the family always expects something at the table that make it from my side. Even as I don't have a career at the moment in that specific field. So when I got to the culinary part, I have the privilege to have 2 full pay externships. So I go to Montreal, Canada, one the hospitality schools with the culinary degree they have there. So I stay for 6 months in that school and 3 months running around doing externships in different hotels in the area. So it was a great experience. That complement a specific degree in culinary. And when I go back to my country, I finish it up with the rest of the paper and signatures that we have for the career, and finish it up the culinary part. And that's how I finish. Basically, I finish in this type of environment.
Yeah.
So the background, the business part, the hospitality management, and the culinary open a wide opportunity for me because of that. I kind of close the full cycle, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm specialized in one thing, but at the same time I have the background in 2 other things.
Right.
And give me more opportunity in my career when I came especially to the States.
That's nice.
Yeah, I worked for Hilton for 7 years after I finished my degree. Different positions, from I start from the bottom to the top. The production in Latin American countries is completely different. The production here in the States, nothing is pre-made. Everything is made by scratch, so you basically receive everything in a whole. So you from the shrimp you have to peel the vein and remove, prepare, weight. The fishes you have to fillet. The meat you have the whole animals that you have to break it down in parts and pieces. and whatever usage you're going to have of the parts of the animal, the vegetables, you have to build it by scratch. So nothing's going to prepare. So I start from the production kitchen. I pass after a year to the basically to the employees' kitchen, where you feed all of the employees in a hotel. I'm talking about hotels that they have 400, 600 rooms, so they're pretty large, and they have 5, 6, 7 convention centers inside of the hotel. So there's a lot of catering involved in all of that. After that, I have the opportunity to go to the saucier part, making sauces. So I was the saucier assistant for a year, and after that, they gave me the opportunity to be the saucier sous chef. So I started making sauces only for almost 2 years. When I making sauces is, we're making bechamel, 300 gallons of bechamel with 300 gallons of marinara, and after that we pack in bags of 2 kilos and freeze it with a date, and they're gonna be distributed to depend on the locations, restaurants they have inside of the hotel, according for whatever recipe they're gonna use. So it was kind of interesting, manage our volumes. That exposed me a lot, to the usage of certain ingredients to the minimum, and create something that later on is going to be using in a high-end plate, let's put it that way. So basically, we collect all of the scraps, we make sauces that is going to be used in a high-end product. So that was very interesting. Because I'd be able to manage at so short age, let's put it that way, that department, the executive chef at the time, and give me the opportunity to go to the garmanger kitchen. The garmanger kitchen is where we produce basically all of the cold platters, hors d'oeuvres for a big hotel function. So from the breakfast items to canapes to hors d'oeuvres to meat platters to seafood platters for any of the locations in the hotel is produced in that kitchen. It's kind of interesting because that's the only kitchen when you wear a sweater underneath your chef jacket, because the temperature that they maintain in that area is 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So because of the product you're using, make sure you don't break them, what we call them, the chain of the cold, with the cold chain, something like that. And so when you pull it out of a ham from the cooler, basically in the process of the preparation to put it in the platter or cutting, it stays kind of in the same temperature, so it never change. It's for the safety issues, safety requirements that we do that, especially when you have large events. Because if you have to cut, it's not the same. You have to cut 2 pounds of ham that you have to cut 25 kilos of ham or 200 pounds of ham to make certain platters. If the temperatures stay kind of in the same below the danger zone, the product you're serving after in the party is completely safe to serve in that way. So it's kind of interesting. And after that, I still started moving to another department. I got an opportunity to go to a cold kitchen in one of the Italian restaurants one of the hotels have. And after that, they opened a position in another country that I'd be able to take it. And so from Ecuador, I flew to Venezuela, and I worked in the Margarita Island for a year and a half in the Margarita Hilton. And I worked in the banquet cuisine and banquet kitchen, and I stayed there and I learned a lot, because that hotel at that time they have 800 rooms, and it's super busy in 2 seasons, especially from summertime and at the end of the year. So it's tremendous amount, especially of catering that we walk through, and the volumes, and that's what I started, nurturing myself, in the different areas and gaining experience in high volume management, food and managing people also, and give me the opportunity to apply everything I learned in the school too, as far as the management styles, all of the financial part, be able to handle all of that. So it was a great experience. Great experience for me as working with that company.
What's like the most drastic comparison to working from the hotel industry, I guess, to a school environment?
Two completely different areas. Obviously, working in a hotel and a college. When I started with Sodexo as a company, I started in the healthcare division. So I worked for hospitals and acute care units and small nursing units basically. So I have to learn that part first, and I have the volume, the high volume management that you run in the hotels. At the same time, you have to learn all of the dietary needs that certain hospitals have. Managing that was kind of interesting because I learned another career basically. I had to take a lot of training, a lot of courses through the 6 years I was in the healthcare division, and after that I have the opportunity to move to the campus side, and I say, oh, good, I don't have to take more trainings or more courses than that because it's completely different, and I was wrong. I was wrong because it's a different environment. You have other necessities in the campus side. Comparison both things, especially here at Rollins College is not much difference because of the volumes we manage. Even it's such a small school, the volumes we manage are pretty high because of the type of production we have. When I joined the team in 2007 as an executive chef, my goal was change completely the usage of the product that we have. Before everything was pre-made, everything come ready basically to go. So we don't have the culinary talent also in the kitchen to start preparing everything by scratch. And my mission was, try to change that. I think is the reality is organic food is expensive. Are you guys as a whole group are willing to sacrifice price for volume, price for availability? Organic product is seasonal also. So how many people are we gonna piss off if we don't have tomatoes right now? Because it's not a season. People, they don't take that in consideration. They're just demanding. We are a demanding population. We demand, we have it. Be realistic. We're privileged in the location we have as a Florida, as a state, as a city. That we have access for different closer cities. They can distribute certain products. But organic, I think, is great. I try to feed my little one as much organic product possible I can. Financially, it's a big financial impact because it's double, triple of the price. The price of chicken, regular price of chicken is $129, $159 a pound. Organic chicken, you're talking about $4, $5 a pound. So I can afford it, maybe yes. You can afford it, maybe yes, but not everybody can afford it. It's hard. It's hard. You have to think 3 times. When you have larger families, when you don't have only 1 kid, when you have 2 kids, when you have 3 kids, you know what? I feed you organic milk, now you have a sibling. Oh man, should I buy a quarter of a gallon of organic milk or should I buy a full gallon of regular milk? Now is a choice. It shouldn't be like that. It should be more accessible. But again, you have to understand everything go back to the things, how they produce, how they be able to transport, how they be able to market all that. It's not incentives, maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't know. Whole Foods is awesome, but sometimes the price is there. And I get in. My wife called me. Can you get apples for soy? Yes. I stop by there and then get out right away. I say, you know what? I'm not paying almost $3.50 per apple. Are you out of freaking mind? No way. I will peel the apple and I boil the apple if I have to, regular apple to feed my kids, if I have to remove all the pesticides or whatever. It's the reality. It's the reality. We don't do it any great either because they try to bring organic product from other locations, so they're not sustainable. And that's what always someone say, Whole Foods is great, everybody, Whole Foods, the last cook in the desert. Why? They try to supply the demand. So when they don't have, when there is no season for grapes, they bring grapes, organic grapes from where? From Argentina, from Chile. What happened with the sustainability? Yes, it's organic. What happened with the carbon footprint?
Right.
All of that, you have to take that in consideration too. So practice what you preach. That's what I meant. I wish we can be a gypsies and live like them and learn from them. That they move from one state to the other, looking for the best weather, looking for the best availability of food, and the cheapest way of living. That's why they move from one part to another, the gypsies. It's not because they like to move all the time, it's because they're looking for the best. They're always looking for the best weather. You know, if it's cold up north, they come down to the south. Period. And so they don't suffer the impact of the nature or whatever it is. That's the real life. That's what I say.
That's my last question.
Yeah,
That was very interesting insight. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And that's obviously, you know, that's my personal opinion.
No, I think that was all very good feedback. Interesting.
I'm glad I able to answer your questions.
Yeah.
Can I get a shot of this poster right here? Thank you, Sodexo. I think that's pretty.
Sure.
It's a cool looking.
Oh, that's good.
A little zoomed in here.
These are from the